Good evening from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre channel. And tonight we are talking to Michelle and Gillian. We've got slight technical issues at the moment with Gillian. We've got a sound issue. She's just joined us. I'm not quite sure if she can hear us. But I hope everyone's doing well. So how are you then, Michelle?
Good, thank you. Keeping busy during this lockdown 3, or just coming out of lockdown 3. So, yes, lots of exciting stuff to tell you about as we go through the evening.
Yeah, it's been quite a mad time. You don't know where you stand, do you? You run events, you're a co-founder of Haunted Heritage with Gillian, and it's mad, isn't it?
Just a little bit.
I'm trying to play around with some stuff that's here, but...
Right.
I gather you still can't...
What we will be doing is getting questions. If you can see the questions on your screen, I'll post them onto the screen so you can see them. So if I carry on talking to Michelle for a bit, and then see how you get on, Gillian. Michelle, where did paranormal all start for you then?
For me, wow, always been interested in the weird and wonderful. And I can remember a brother getting a fantastic book in his teenage years.
Got you.
Hey, yes, we can hear you. Yay.
I had to tweak about a bit.
In the land of the living, or the dead in our case.
There's also been a message from Natalie. I don't know whether you've read it. And she said, how do we get to see Jill and Mitch? I'm on the event, but nothing is showing. And then you've put not live yet.
Oh, I think we're live now. We've got quite a few watching.
Oh, okay.
So it is live. We are running. So it is on a minute or so delay. So it's all good.
Okay.
We've got a few watching. So can say hello to Annette Lark, Sherry Kyler Joyce, Natalie Cooper, David Davids, Stephanie Ann Bourne, Laura Ellis, Jane Rowley, Neil Smith. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Excellent.
Bloss, thanks for watching. John Chance. Hiya. So, okay then, Michelle, when did it start with the paranormal?
So I had this book as a teenager called Photographs of the Unknown, and I was absolutely obsessed by it. Always enjoyed a good ghost story. Obviously, camping holidays used to scare the hell out of you walking back from the pub as a family in the dark. And so I've always had an interest. And then as I got older, was intrigued by the whole Uri Geller thing and experiments like that. And then I ended up working in some haunted locations. And it just got better and better for me. And then the first day at Snibston, when the staff came up to me and said, whatever you do, don't go into that building alone and without a key, because it's haunted.
Yay! That's it. And you've worked at some fantastic locations. You really have.
A lot of jobs.
Well, you've worked at Wollaston Hall, Bradgate Park, and
Snibston, Bosworth. Yeah, it's been
wow.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic, and all haunted locations as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Fantastic.
A few haunted as well.
Where did it start for you, Gillian? The paranormal.
I think for me, as a psychic medium, I've always been interested, and I do readings for people and so forth, and trained in different areas, but I just got a buzz out of going somewhere and then being able to walk into a place and get all these weird things come through, and you then kind of ask yourself, well, what's all that about? And then I'd see people out the corner of my eye. So the paranormal just intrigued me and fascinated me beyond belief, really. More so than doing readings for people. I mean, I enjoy doing that, and I've got a high rate of accuracy, but it still comes down to a buzz of going into an unknown venue. It's as simple as that. So when did it all start? Paranormal stuff. I used to do it long before I met Mitch.
Yeah.
We used to do my own little groups. Never sold tickets. I'd just ask friends and families, and we'd hire a venue, and then we'd go off somewhere. and that were cool. And then by pure fluke, I met Miss Michelle Smith at East Midlands Airport on a disaster day.
It's
So
mad, isn't it?
the rest is history. It definitely meant to be, without a shadow of a doubt. So
That's fantastic.
you know,
So when did you set up Haunted Heritage then?
Well,
you know
I'll
the exact date, actually, don't you?
Okay. So we officially started off with Snibston Paranormal Investigation, and as Jill said, we bumped into each other by sheer fluke. So we were both working for the district council. You were the district council, I was the county council.
Yeah.
Jill was in the leisure centre, I was in a museum. And if you're on a certain employment level, you've got to participate in disaster days. Heaven forbid another, Kegworth Air disaster, but what happens is that all the 999 services get together to do a practice, but then what happens to the bodies, and identifying people and collecting information, well, that falls down to the councils, and people don't realise this. Wow. So we got pulled together to, there must have been about, 30 or 40 of us, I can't remember now. And we had to go to the East Midlands Airport and do this pretend day. And we got put on the morgue.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so during a coffee break, like you do, was got talking, and Jill said that she sees dead people, and I said, "Oh, that's handy. I've got a museum full of them." And Jill came to the museum about week later, Jill, possibly
something like that.
Yeah, and she had full access to the entire museum. She went around with a guy called Nigel Moore, who's one of the team there. She could go anywhere apart from a couple of offices, I think, you weren't allowed to go into. And she came back and just said, "This place is so haunted. You've got to start doing something."
Wow!
And then within a week, the curator put a shout out saying, "We need to raise money for the museum. Can we use the buildings at night time in any particular way?" So I thought, all right, we'll have a bit of this. So I was putting a submission, and they went, "Yeah, go ahead, just go on and do it." So whilst it never supported us per se, they never stopped us, and they'll have to take the money. And we started, going to love this, on the 1st of April. It was a Saturday night in 2011. That was our first event.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And then we ran, and then when my job changed, we ran the events for the museum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just changed my shift, and Jill came along and got and took the event round. And then as I changed to Bosworth and Donington Laheath as my job expanded, we just rolled out more events. And then I left, and at that point we had to stop doing events for the museums. We went independent, but we paid the museums for the hire.
Yeah.
So it worked out brilliantly. That's brilliantly.
Yeah, and you've both got different things to offer as well, haven't you? Because obviously you're into the history, and the information that you remember is absolutely unbelievable. I can't remember things like this. And then Gillian is the sort of spiritual side. Do you do much history, Gillian?
Michelle will tell you, and I'm keeping this quite clean, because we've learned to swear quite a lot together. So keep this clean, but my history was rubbish. So I weren't really interested in history, but having said that, I think I inadvertently got interested in it because of all the stuff that I was picking up. I was then intrigued to find out, well, is this right, or am I just making stuff up? So it then become as though, and it was nice that Michelle could give me feedback, just say, well, you'll never guess what. And I think really that's what we bounced off each other so good initially, right? I mean, we still do, but I think it was a wow factor for both of us, because I'm coming up with all this stuff and knowing that my history was absolute rubbish, and then she's going away finding all this stuff. And so I think it was a wow factor for both of us, really. And we've had some amazing things that we've found through that. So it's good. And as I said, we bounce off each other in a lot of things, really. It's cool.
That's brilliant. We certainly need that relationship, don't you, in sort of the business, in events and going out, and you're not entertaining people, but you've got to look after people, haven't you, and give them a good time. But at the same time, it's got to be Correct.
I
You know.
think that came when we decided to launch the business. I had paid good money because I was interested in it. I don't think Mitch had ever done anything like it before. I had paid really good money to go to venues with other groups to become out really extremely disappointed. And I just thought that's not what it's about. I signed up or paid my good money to do an investigation, and it just wasn't like that at all. So Mitch and I, when we got together and we kind of drew up a list of what it is that we want from the business, it was top of my list. That this isn't about us, it's about that customer having that experience, hopefully, because we don't make this stuff up, but even if some things don't happen, we hope that they've come away with an experience of being proactive, and that to us said it all, and that's never changed.
No.
It's never changed.
No. I think some of the times the customers see our aha moments, and it usually starts with, what are you saying? Do you know who you're speaking to? You know, and at that point the customers go, aye, something's going on here. And at that point it's been brilliant. So they get to see the real, we're not making this up, this is brilliant. And Jacqueline, you've been there at events when, you know, I'm quickly Googling stuff, aren't I, during a break?
Yeah, that's right.
Some connections.
Yeah, because I had a bit of a random experience. I went to Nottingham Council House, which is an awesome building. You know, I don't even know if you're the only ones who's ever investigated there. Also, I've actually been on a work training course there. That's the only other time I've been there, you know, and it's just a beautiful building. And for me to I picked up on a gentleman in the room, and you actually managed to validate some of the information I got as well, which it was amazing, you know, because you use dowsing rods, don't you?
Yeah, a lot.
Quite a lot. Well, actually, Michelle's kind of taught me to use dowsing rods to some degree.
Yeah. Well, some guests use the pendulums, and it's all the same kind of thing, really. It's just picking up energy. But we have had some wow moments, I think.
Yeah.
Especially the staff. I mean, I don't know whether you know that we really was people that went into Bow Manor, and I know Mitch had to jump over hoops to get us into Bow Manor. But when we met with the manager and we was having this discussion about us going into Bow Manor, and we had this bit of a tour, and there were two things that literally, and I'm talking, jumped out, and one was in the cellars. And I remember Mitch talking to this manager and his deputy manager.
Yeah.
And I'm really just psyching in. And as clear as day, Jacqueline, I heard in my ear, "Hello, my name is Martha." And it was that clear. I just turned round quickly, and Mitch says, "Are you all right?" I went, "There's something so weird just happened." About this lady Martha, and so again, then we went off and did some investigation, and turns out there was a Martha there, and she was very much an important role while it was a listening centre.
Wow.
But then the second one was, again, it was during the tour with the manager, so we hadn't had any events. This is broad daylight, and we was up in the top section of the attic. And I was coming down these stairs and stopped midway. And again, Mitch knows, you know, are you all right? And I went, wow, he's one to be reckoning with. And I picked up this tall gentleman who I can only describe as, he looked like Dick Turpin. He was a highwayman with that hat and whatever.
Wow.
But I said, you know, he puts the fear of God in people. A very much prominent character within that, and I believe they've showed their faces several times to the paranormal groups. So
that's brilliant. It's when you get the validation, isn't it? Well, like I'm new to mediumship, so it's like sort of convincing yourself it is true, but then like for Michelle to come up with, yeah, this person, you know, lived here, or it's amazing.
For me, when Jill goes into one of her zones, as I like to call it, it's just the fine detail that she can come out with. So, like with the Martha situation, Jill described it as it's a very plummy English accent, very BBC accent.
Okay.
Well, in the military in World War II, that is what you would have had a clear eloquence about you.
Yeah, that's right.
Beautifully, kind of thing, and it's just little details like that are priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So
just a quick shout out.
Go on, you carry on, and then I'll come
Okay,
back to
just
you.
a quick shout out to everyone who's watching then. Wendy Williams, Leslie Hudson, Bon Hunter, Lois Haddo, thanks for watching, Michelle Rain, Jude Harris Damassa, Stephanie Ann Bourne, Gemma Brown, Patricia Ann Farrar. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
And we have Helen Jane Lawson. So if anyone has any questions for Gillian or Michelle, just add them to the chat, then I'll ask them if we have time, okay? So you've sort of headed in a new direction. So obviously Haunted Heritage, you pick historic buildings and you hold events in there. But you've sort of branched out now to something different. Who'd like to speak about that?
Shall I kick off, Jill? So at our events, obviously we do the history, do the ghost hunting. There's mediumship involved, not at every event, but our team are quite sensitive, and we're often asked about the mediumship side of things and how can people get involved with that. And usually, you can go to the church or there's things you can do, but it's always a bit vague kind of thing. And we kept being asked, and can we do a dowsing session, and can we do this? And in the end, we decided to do a bit of research. Let's see what's actually out there for people. And there's spiritual churches, and they're fantastic, but they are terrifying. If you've never been to one before, you just don't know what you're getting into.
I totally get that, because I kind of wouldn't go to one. And I've only been to one twice because Barry John's been. And he was doing something at Mansfield, so I went to watch him because I know him something. So yeah, but I wouldn't.
There's this thing about attached. Well, it's just the religion thing. It's quite interesting.
The word church is scary.
Yeah.
Well, you see, I'll come in and add to that, because I took a telephone call from a lady the other day, and like Mitch, I mean, one of the reasons we set this up is because people do come to paranormal nights because they are mediums, or they are learning mediums, or clairvoyant, and I think it's a way for them testing their skills. So when they found out I was a medium, obviously they're asking 1,000 questions. Where do I go to develop it? What do I do? And as Mitch said, the first port of call that we used to say to people, well, spiritualist church, because there was nowhere else to go. So hence, that's why Spirit World, but Mitch will come back onto that. But this lady said, and I said to her, well, we have got some courses, told her all about them, but I said, have you tried a spiritualist church? And she said straight away, I don't believe in God.
Yeah.
So why would I go to a spiritualist church? And that's a difficult question to answer. Because, without going into my beliefs or your beliefs or Mitch's beliefs, at the end of the day, people have their own beliefs, and if they're not quite sure where they want to go, then yeah. But I would always recommend, really, a spiritualist church first. But what do you do with those people that don't?
Yeah, because I went to, they were doing a training course at one, and it was all about the SNU, but I thought it was more about learning mediumship. So I thought, well, what the hell have I gone to see? It was just me and another person, this woman waffling on about the history of the NSU, and it's SNU rather, and I'm not interested, it's not what I've come to see. And I think we paid 15, 20 quid for it, and it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because Jill, the lady you spoke to, she wanted to go and do a course, but she said, I can't afford a course. Was that right?
Yes, that's right. She says, well, I want to go and do a course. But she says, but, I've been furloughed. I can't afford it and all this, that and the other. And she said, so what do you do? I says, well, unfortunately, we can't do it free of charge because we have venues to pay, and we have the people to pay, the mediums that would come in, whoever's specialist subject. But when she asked how much it was, she was shocked because she was thinking in the hundreds. And I went, where are you looking? But that's exactly what Mitch and I found. We wanted something for Spirit World to be affordable to everyone. Why wouldn't you not be affordable to everyone?
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we did, and we believe that we price it accordingly.
Yeah, so we spent just over a year, didn't we, finding out what's out there, what courses, what will be interesting. We've got some fantastic people we're working with, and we can't wait to get started. So but everything we do is for beginners, absolute beginners, maybe intermediate to tip to the next level. But we want to work with lots of mediums so that we can then pass these people onto the mediums to do like their own little circles. We're just the feeders. We're just, you know.
Well, we're the suppliers, aren't we? We provide the people, we provide the expertise in different fields, and then people will come and do it. So, you know, we've got oracle cards, we've got tea leaf reading, and
wow,
psychometry. We've got loads of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's for everybody really to tap into and come and have a go at it, because to be honest, you'll be absolutely mesmerised at what you actually can do. You think you're only going to do this, and then when you start getting into other things, you'll be amazed, absolutely amazed.
We're going to do development workshops as well, but during the lockdown, I got really into LOA and did a course on a law of attraction, and that's just blown my world apart in a fantastic way. So I want LOA to be a massive part of what Spirit World is about, just so that we can help people to broaden their consciousness and live fantastic lives, and, you know, really passionate about it.
So
and it's nice to actually go to a lesson.
Where are you, Jacqueline, with your mediumship?
I don't know really. I'm actually studying with Barry John at the moment. So yeah, I'm doing lessons. So I don't know. I can't wait to get out again.
Yeah, we all feel like that. We all feel like that.
I did do a reading for someone the other week and it was quite spot on, which was, so I don't quite know what's going on. But when I lost my dog 2 years ago, I actually did step up a level or two. And then I have been doing development for 2 years since that. So yeah, I'll see how it goes when I'm out there again, really.
No. Well, you know what you need to do, Jacqueline, now.
Yeah, oh gosh, I'm going to be out that door April, I think, with a friend. Oh, you can go for a walk with a friend, can't you, Sue?
That's right, yeah.
Past time with a friend, so that's the one. So I've got a message here from Patricia then. Patricia was president at Long Eaton Church for 26 years. Loved running open circles to help develop people's gifts. SNU became too much of the front line and she walked away.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend started to attend the open circle.
Once again, another high pressure environment, you see.
I can agree with that, Chris. I went really just for a nosy, I think. It's got to be 15, 16 years ago, local to me. And they did this platform and they were giving little readings. And then I went, they were doing like a meditation course. So I went the week later and on this, and the stuff they were doing, I have since found out through developing my own skills that it will way off, absolutely way off. So you've got to be careful. But having said that, I think you know as a person whether it's right or not for you.
Yeah.
But that's where they come in, because we just really want these people that we come across to go in the right direction. I don't know where that's going to be. You just don't.
Yeah. I didn't even believe in mediumship, and it's only like just before I lost my mum, it like reared its head, and it's just intrigued me ever since. And if it helps me get more out of the investigation, then that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's exactly it. It's cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, with our investigations with ghost hunting, we went through, setting off, we had a bit of kit, and then we kept chucking all the money back into the business, didn't we, to buy more kit.
Yeah.
And now we've got found to the point where people want to use their own skills. At the end of the day, your body is the most awesome ghost hunting piece of kit. Your ancestors survived being chased by T-Rex, saber-toothed tigers, you've got bullets in the war, you know, survived cholera and famine and all. Your ancestors passed on this survival DNA to you. Let's use it. It's your instinct. It's in you. So let's use it. And we're finding more of our guests want to go down that raw state. And it's great. So, yeah, everything we're doing seems to be tying hand in hand really well together.
Yeah, and sort of what I didn't know about your events as well, you do let people participate. You give them the option of the pendulum, the dowsing rod.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the tools there so that they can use them. You also tell them what the tools are for as well.
Absolutely.
You know, like, you know, you just kind of plonk something on a table like a K2 and what's this? You know, you just go through it and at least people will know sort of how to use it, which is good as well. Jane Rowley, a lot of people do not realise how much work and commitment is involved when training properly in Circle for Mediumship.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
But
So
I think
for
it's
us,
also about finding. I have to say this because when you know you have something, whatever that may be, I can honestly say, hand on heart, you go down any route or all the routes to find out what is for you. So, for instance, if I was to say to you, yes, I learnt mediumship. I believe I'm medium and clairvoyant. But having said that, I went on then to learn Reiki. So that's Reiki healing. I then went on to do crystal healing. I then went on to do flower reading. I then went on to do psychometry. So until something you say, yeah, that's what I like, that's what I want, you're going to end up doing lots of different things. And it's like going for a job. You don't know it's the job for you until you've been there and done it. You think, no, this ain't for me. I'm on the wrong track. And you go somewhere else. Well, the point is, what we're trying to do is to offer people these, you know, couple of hour courses where they can come and have a go and they can come and have a tinker and they're going to say, yeah, actually, I like that. I'll come back and I'll do more of that. Or no, that weren't for me. And that's cool. You know, it's, you know, and that's what it's all about. So we encourage anybody come along with like-minded. You got to remember, everybody that comes are like-minded people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because by the time they sort of hit these sort of idea of developing, then they've got to want to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, it's not something. Well, actually, I did it for the hell of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't actually believe in it, and I found it was real.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because we found that on our ghost hunts that we've got people who wanted to come and learn about psychometry. That was a really popular subject. So we've had courses of that go through. We've run some psychic workshops for whole days, haven't we, and weekends.
Oh, they're really good.
They've gone down really well. Now intermediate kind of thing. But once again, we are very much what me and Jill do. We are brilliant at doing events. We can do the outreach. We can find the people. You know, people will follow us. We're quality, but we can't do everything. So to get people in, nurtured, and then if we can work with other local mediums nearby to run courses and development bits and bobs, then we're all helping the community, aren't we? We all rise together. It's all good. So loads of exciting stuff lined up.
Yeah, it sounds it. You know, it's a shame you just sort of got to a point of launching. You launched it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, we had kind of launched a little bit, hadn't we, Jill?
Yeah, we had done it a couple of years ago, and it took off, and so Mitch started then to just move forward with that. And then we went into lockdown.
However, today we've had some phenomenal news because we've postponed all of our events until the start of April time, you know, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And today, am I allowed to tell them, Jill? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Exclusive, yay.
Yes. We've been told today, because we've been chasing down all of our venues to find out, you know, where they stand with situations. Because we are, the Spirit Wood is...
We're a COVID secure business.
Secure business, and it's classed as education. We are being given the go ahead to actually for our events to start for the workshops in April.
In April.
Yeah,
That's
which
So,
is
fantastic.
fantastic.
because it does come under the as far as that, it does come under the education sector.
Yeah. Obviously, we have to restrict numbers, but then that's absolutely fine. That's what we're doing beforehand. Systems are in place, risk assessments are in place, everything's good to go. And we're just delighted with that.
Yeah, well, at least you can start, can't you? That's absolutely awesome. Everyone's like desperate to get out the houses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fantastic news.
Yeah, come on, meet your spirit guides. Come on, read tea leaves. Come on,
Yay, fantastic.
something
I've got,
location.
oh, bless you. I've got a question here then from
Chris.
Chris.
Chris, hello, Chris.
Do you
plan
plan to do workshops in other parts of the country?
You mean
where
like
are you
Gloucestershire?
based? Well, we need to find out where you're based, really.
Chris is Twiggy's breeder.
Oh, wow, you've got
There we
inside
are.
information then.
I've met Twiggy as well. She doesn't like my dog.
Chris, the plan is worldwide domination, but we're going to start off in Leicester. And then the plan is that the content is going to work. We just need to find the trainers in those areas, and we will just keep growing and growing and growing. So, yeah, we are coming your way. Maybe not in 2021, but maybe in 2022.
Definitely.
Wow,
Definitely.
awesome. What about auras then? Has anyone done auras?
Done auras. Well, I did a course on auras. In fact, Mitch did a course on auras.
Yeah.
Didn't we? We did.
Yeah.
Yes,
I wasn't very good.
I'm not very good at that.
No,
but
I'm not very good, and that's bizarre, isn't it? Because, like I said, as a psychic medium, and I was absolute rubbish at auras. I couldn't do them at all. So it's clearly not my thing. It weren't Mitch's thing. But yes, I think we would love to do auras. So it is on the agenda to bring that onto our program. 100%, yes.
Psychometry, I just want to bring up because this is just hilarious. Jill's known me for a few years now, and I think I would class myself as psychic as a brick a few years ago. And Jill was doing some training with the actual team, and we had at your house, weren't we, Jill? Yeah. Doing some psychometry, and she takes you through a meditation, and we're giving this thing, is an ornament of a bird kind of thing. I'm thinking.
Bear in mind, Jacqueline, I'm just going to interrupt once. When I first met Mitch, she was as skeptic as they come. She was no, seriously, which is good.
I was.
That's good. But over the years, there's been too much happened, and obviously she's developing her own skills now, so she knows that there's stuff in it. So carry on, Mitch. So at this point, she was skeptic.
So I've got this ornament of a bird in my hand. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Just write it all down, kind of thing. And then the embarrassing bit, you've got to read it out, haven't you, kind of thing. And I said, oh, I've just, I said, well, can you remember that film? Was it The King's Speech with Helen Bonham Carter and what's his name, Mr. Darcy in it? And I described what Helen Bonham Carter was the Queen's mother and what she wore around her shoulders. I just got that. And Lorna next to me went, oh my God, that's my granny. Everyone used to call her Queenie, and that's exactly what she looked like, and that's her ornament.
Awesome.
So that was an aha moment, wasn't it? But Jill, do tell us about your psychic detective course that you went on.
Right, okay. I'm a fair at having a go at absolutely anything, but what has intrigued me beyond a shadow of a doubt is psychic detective work. And I'm not going to go into it because we won't have the time, but things that's real life that has happened, I've picked up that stuff. And, I'd love to go to the police and all this, that and the other, but it comes down to this old confidence thing. So, not last November, the November before, I went on a long weekend residential workshop with Tony Stockwell.
Wow.
And we did a shed load of stuff, and it was one of the best things that I ever done. Cost me an arm and a leg, but hey-ho.
Yeah.
And one of the afternoons was psychic detective. I thought, yes, this is just up my street. So anyway, one thing, he gave us this picture. You look at it face down, you don't turn it over, and you have to write down things that you're picking up. So that is a bit of psychometry as well, and you're trying to tap into it. But one thing he said, do not write down the first thing that comes into your head. So fair enough. I got this water, I got this bike and all this, that and the other. I thought, no, put it to one side. That's not what I'm getting. So I got all this other stuff and wrote it all down. And as it went on, and I was totally got it all wrong. So everything I wrote down, I'd got wrong. And then he turns out, he says, well, this child died in mysterious circumstances in a canal, and he was found with a bite wrapped around his ankles. And I'm thinking, you told me not to take on board the first things that came into my head. And it did. So, Tony Stockwell was absolutely fantastic, but it's about knowing your psychic ability, and what you are seeing is believing. And of course, what I did was I dismissed it, and I should have gone with it. But it's all a learning curve. But I come out thinking, well, I'm rubbish at this. One thing I wanted to excel at, I'm rubbish. So I shan't bother contacting the cops.
But then most mediums that I've spoken to say it's the first thought you get. You know, well, if something just pops in your head, that's a mediumship.
Well, I think
and then what you get later is you imagining it.
I think where he was going was really clear your mind. And I get that. You do have to get rid of all the debris and all the other stuff that you've been doing. But the minute I started doing it, I got the water, I got this, that and the other, I got the bike, and it turns out that that's what it were. Yeah. However, it wasn't all disastrous, because the stuff that I did pick up, and it was a clearing in a wood, and like an embankment, that kind of thing. And I wrote all this down. And clearly that wasn't what he got the photos for. However, 2 weeks later, something came on the TV where they'd found this young boy in the clearing, in this embankment, exactly what I picked up.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
But
wow. Obviously I couldn't corroborate that because it weren't there and then. So, who knows? But, it was cool.
Yeah. On a similar kind of vein, it was a couple of years ago. Obviously, I don't know how much people know about haunted heritage, but there's a guy called Richard III seems to follow us around quite a lot. And it keeps popping up. And then, obviously, we did that recording a few years ago. It was in 2011, I do believe, the recording happened. No, 2012, the recording happened. At Donington Heath Manor House, and it's the famous Richard quote. And if you haven't heard it yet, go onto YouTube and listen to it. But Richard III seems to pop up quite a lot. And then it was about 2 years later on. So by this point, King's in the ground, re-interned. We've gone and met Philippa Langley. The lady went and led the quest to find Richard III. And we're in Donington Heath, and me and Jill are just walking around, just doing a quick sight check before anyone else has arrived. And old Jill goes, "Hold on a moment." Anyway, so I stand there, and she does this weird thing, and she starts having a whispering conversation to one side. I was like, "Oh, right, okay, Jill, who are you talking to?" She went, "I think it's Richard." Anyway, so Jill
didn't actually say that. I said, "I think it is." I described him.
Yeah.
I said, "But I think it is him."
Funny thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so unfortunately, Jill's history isn't, even with the reinterment and all the rest of it, isn't brilliant. Of course, what Bosworth King Richard III visited centre, that's quite hot on the stuff. And I was able to ask questions, and what Jill was coming up with, the answers were, there's no way Jill could have made this up. I knew stuff being told by certain people on the excavations, the digs, historians. I mean, Jill would not have known this stuff. And it was the most amazing. We actually started the event a little bit later, and we just sat down and just had this conversation. I was like whacking the recorder on, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
But from that, we met up with Philippa Langley, didn't we, at Bosworth?
Yeah.
And Mitch says, "Oh, I think you should meet my colleague Jill, and she's got stuff to tell you." And if I remember right, it was about the lost boys in the tower.
Yeah, it's the next project, the Missing Princess project. Yeah.
So I was picking stuff up on that basis of what it were. Jacqueline, have you been to hospital or going through hospital?
I hope not.
You had trouble with your teeth?
Yeah.
Oh, that went down well.
Cheers for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a bad tooth absolutely ages, but I can't get a dentist.
Right. I think there might be an hospital visit included with that. I'm just getting hospital and teeth with you.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah. So nothing too serious, but I do think Yeah, why am I being shown you got a special pen or something?
A what?
Pen or something? It looks like a pen.
No.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. Something blue, and to me, it looks like a pen. It's blue.
Would
It
it?
seems blue and clear.
No.
Well, bear that in mind. Bear that in mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look out for that. Yeah, I've been trying to get a dentist for about a year and a half.
Oh,
And
right.
you can't get any.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it might come to head, and I think it might probably be an orthodontist at an hospital or something like that. Or something
Yeah, I just want a tooth pulling out, basically.
Yeah.
But it's crumbled a bit, so that might be the problem.
Yeah. Okay. Is it jotting up to your ear? Are you having a problem with your ear?
I thought that was something else.
I'm picking up an ear problem.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
It's not the time to talk.
No.
The time to talk. I'll have to have another chat with you, Jacqueline, offline.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah, I did have an issue with a weird headache thing, so yeah. But
Yeah.
first sort that one out-ish.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up an ear problem.
Oh, great.
As well as your tooth.
So just going back to the whole Richard III thing. So in 2012, when the dig was taking place trying to find Richard's body, obviously we had this recording, but we actually sat on it for, was it a year and a half, Jill?
Or longer, yeah.
Yeah. And the reason for that, the staff at the museum knew that we got it, and they kept saying, "You've got to get it out there." It's like, I can't. I work at Bosworth. People are going to think that we're just jumping on the band. No. And the team were really good, actually, weren't they? Because they understood, no, it was my job. It put me in a real difficult situation, and we just sat on it. Shared a few times with a few people, didn't we? But we just sat on it. And then it came up to they found the body and the interment, and just stuff was kicking off with us left, right, and centre. Just coincidence is just unbelievable. And in the end, it got picked up by
Leicester Mercury.
The Leicester Mercury, yeah. Then didn't it go down to the Metro as well? Then went round the world.
What happened were, just again, go back 12 months, the Leicester Mercury reporter, she contacted us out the blue and came on one of our investigations, which we did at Snibston Discovery at the time. And she did a most amazing write-up for us. Then fast forward probably about, as Mitch says, 18 months, out the blue, she rang me and she says, "Oh, hi, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Anything new happening recently?" And I went, "Well, yeah, we have." So I told her about it, and that was it. So the newspaper came back, Reuters came, and so we had a write-up in 2-3 different magazines.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it appeared on the Metro.
Brilliant.
And then was it during the actual interment week? There's a guy from Amberley Books who I was working with at King Richard, and he rings me up and he's in like Wolverhampton. He says, "Oh, I'm loving the article about you guys." I went, "What do you mean?" He went, "Oh, in that memorial magazine they've gone and done for the interment of King Richard III." Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so I go legging it out of the visitor centre.
Well, she's phoning me. She said, "Go and get a paper quick. Go and get a paper quick."
And there it is in this memorial thing. And we're in the middle. We're in the middle. We're in the middle of it. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But also, I mean, we didn't actually pick up on any of this, but there was quite a lot of bad mouthing and negativity from people who were from the cathedral and were the Richard III society. So there was a bit of a nastiness. I suppose we never saw it, so I didn't really care.
Yeah.
But and that's the very reason why I couldn't allow it to go out when we actually had it fresh.
Yeah, well, there's a big thing about whether they wanted to leave him in Leicester, wasn't there, as well? There's a bit of an argument over that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that got a bit much, really. I've got a question here from Von Hunter then. So will you be doing any online?
Online what? Ghost hunts or
Sessions?
Sessions.
Yeah.
Well, not at the minute. I mean, our priority is to actually get up on running. But it has been mentioned. It has been mentioned before. I think somebody, a medium that we know, they've talked about doing it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a possibility, but the priority at the minute is to just get it up and running.
Yeah, just get going.
Get
Yeah.
going again. Yeah.
You've had too long planning it now, haven't you? It's been nearly a year. It's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it? I've got this from Chris then. His girlfriend and I have been loads of events with different groups. The standout event for both of us was Matlock Pavilion with Haunted Heritage by miles.
Oh,
Fantastic
wow.
team, fantastic location.
Thank
And
you,
yeah,
Chris.
I love that location anyway.
Brilliant.
It is.
Brilliant.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think Michelle Rain had an amazing experience there, didn't she, with the door? The door slamming. She tried to debunk it, but thank you for your comments, Chris. It was lovely. Yes, it was a great venue, Michelle. The bed that was supposed to be the bed, but probably isn't. Oh, I think she's talking about Donington Heath there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but Matlock Pavilion, we had this discussion the other night, the fact that Tanya Taylor, who runs the park, is an absolute credit to the paranormal community. She's a great ambassador.
Yeah, I've been in touch with Tanya because I've hired out the path because it's where I realised that spirits actually existed. Much as though I lived in a haunted pub for 4 years and totally knew things were happening and kind of thought, yeah, okay, whatever. I didn't actually, I wanted to like experience more, but what happened at Matlock Path, yeah, it's the reason I do this as often as I can, really, every week if I can. But yeah.
No, I do like it. I do like it. It's yeah, it's got something about it.
Yeah, it's all the history, isn't it? And yeah. And it's, you know, it's the fact it's owned by the town, you know, the townspeople that bought it for £1 and they're trying to raise money, you know, to get it done up. And they're doing well. Yeah, they're working on it, you know, even during lockdown, they've been sort of working on it.
Yeah.
Sorting the roof out and toilets and things like that. So, yeah, they've been really busy.
What I have come across over the past 12 months, especially with the lockdown and COVID and all the rest of it, and that is quite a few museums are now going into charitable trusts, which is great, but obviously terrifying as well. We mentioned Elveston Castle the other day.
Yeah, that's right.
But even like Sheffield, they're all now moving over into a charitable trust. And obviously Coventry, they've all gone on over to historic Coventry already. So it's massive.
Wow.
You know, more and more is happening, and I just think we just need to be supporting heritage so much. If you like your connections and belonging, then we've got to look after these places. We've got to do it.
Well, the sort of paranormal community has just lost Drakelow Tunnels today. It was announced.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, you know, it can't continue. So obviously we don't quite know what's going on in the future. But yeah.
Well, onwards and upwards, and let's hope that with the vaccinations in place, we should be out of it. So fingers crossed, anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
You had your jab, Jacqueline?
No.
Put it on the list.
I'm not old enough yet. Yay.
Oh, right, okay. I think anybody's going now. I think they are inviting the over 50s now as well. I think they've gone.
I don't think Jacqueline's over 50.
No, I'm making reference to you, Mitch.
Yeah, I know a couple of people have just had it this week, and one was fine. And oh no, my sister had it; she was okay-ish. Yeah, 3 people, and one's had it bad. So, it's one of them, isn't it?
I had the Pfizer, and I was telling Mitch today because we met up today, and I had it last Monday, week today, and I was fine. I had a sore arm, and then by Wednesday, it kind of knocked me for 6, and I really weren't very good at all. I got the chills, the shivers, temperatures, all manner and other, and I so tired. I would just sit there 1 minute and then I'd gone, just totally gone. But at the end of the day, it's positive, and it's over and done with, isn't it, really? Onwards and upwards, and that's what we've got to go for.
Oh, that's right, yeah, because I think I've actually had it, before it was official, before it was around. You know, I had most of the symptoms apart from the two less frequent ones, so it's a bit odd, you know, but
Well, they have admitted, haven't they, that they believe it's been around a lot longer than
yeah.
they first anticipated. So it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
But,
because then I sort of went to a place about a week after and 100 people got it. So, yeah, but it's not my fault.
no.
It's really not my fault. Yeah, but it's just mad, isn't it? You know, who knew?
I mean, it's almost
Hey?
been it's been almost a year since lockdown. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's absolute madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, it's just going to be so great to get, you know, out and about. Bloss has had it. She was ill after it.
Yeah.
And started on early age in Doncaster. Wow. I think you're ahead of Nottingham then.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I was ill after it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon Jill got a shot of embalming fluid, not Pfizer.
Yeah, I reckon they did. Yeah. Yeah. I have to be honest, I sat there and I got myself all worked up. Silly, isn't it? But I did get myself worked up because you think this is stuff they're putting in you that's, you know, from that.
yeah,
When
that's
they were
right.
suffering flu
Yeah.
like, so imagine how it would have been. I've had that. Somebody said to me, if I felt ill, as I did, imagine what it would have been like if I'd have had it real COVID. And it don't bear thinking about, to be honest.
Well, no, because you don't know how you get it, you know, and how it actually affects people individually.
No.
Here's a question regarding COVID, but on a spiritual level, is that that this world pandemic's been pretty major. I'd be interested to know if there's any other mediums out there. Did they know this was coming? Did they feel, you know, movement in the energy?
I've spoken to a couple, and one was careful about booking events because they knew that for some reason they couldn't, and another one actually who you've met, Michelle, we're not going to mention his name, but he sort of said that he'd mentioned something where he worked, you know, and his boss sort of laughed it off, you know, and then this happened. But yeah, I think a lot of people did get it. But you know, how are you going to come out and go, oh, you're going to be locked down for a year?
Yeah.
You just go, yeah, I'm not going to tolerate that. You know, mention that to us 2 years ago.
There was a
we
famous
wouldn't be in a house.
Was it by Lorna Doone, was it, or something? She predicted it, didn't she? I'm sure it was Lorna Doone. She predicted it, and she said something like a virus thing, and she actually predicted the date and everything. What she was not accurate with, she pinpointed the date, exactly what it would be, like flu-like symptoms and stuff, this, that, and the other. But she said by September it would be gone as quick as it come. Well, she got that wrong.
Wow.
But everything else, I'll have to try. Can't remember what she did.
We're going to have to finish now. The time's up. It's 8 o'clock. I think there's another show on the HAPRC live feed channel or this channel. So if you look out for it. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks for joining in. And a big thank you, Michelle and Gillian. It's been absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Time's really flown by, but thank you. Thank you. I'll put a link on top of the live so that you can find Gillian and Michelle as well. So okay then. So thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Look after yourself.